This is Golden Doves class 193. We were page 114, kind of in the middle of the paragraph there, where we're dealing with the golden doves and silver dots. And he says that the golden doves must have been cast into a silver mesh because you can't wield gold and silver, so they can't attach. So the solution to that problem was that apparently the golden doves were covered in a mesh of silver, similarly for the golden apples. So solving the technological problem presents us with an even more difficult challenge. It would appear wiser to cover a less valuable material with a more valuable one. Why would you cover gold with silver, right? Why would one cast golden doves in a silver mesh? A solution to this problem is offered by the rabbis. King Solomon was referring to speech and communication. Interesting. Using the Latin oraculum in the sense of an absolutely unambiguous, non-verbal communication. The rabbis designated with it thought, as it originates in the mind of the first person prior to its being processed into speech. So I'm very happy about something. I had a great day yesterday. But before I said the words, I had a great day yesterday, I felt that which I just expressed, right? But then I expressed it into words. So you see that there's the thought, the golden doves, and the processing of that thought into speech. This unprocessed original thought is the golden doves. They cannot be expressed unless cast into a mesh of silver, right? The only way I can express to you the idea that I had a great day yesterday is to tell you, I had a great day yesterday. And it's like that with anything. Depending on our view concerning the ultimate components of speech, the dots must be conceived of either as words. I'm sorry, just get this lamp here. Right? Depending on our view, sorry about the concerning the ultimate components of speech, the dots must be conceived of as either words or as letters. And that was the subject we dealt with yesterday. Again, just like dots, the silver dots, these components cannot be subjected to further division. In themselves, they are not significant, right? Like the silver mesh encasing the golden doves, it could not be welded. I think that's a word. I think I said wielded before. If I said that, it was a mistake. It's welded, to weld, right? They cannot be welded into an original oraculum, right? That's very interesting. So you see, you can't weld the silver into the gold. So there's a irreducible tension between the words and what I'm trying to communicate to you, right? So in themselves, they're not. In themselves, they're not significant. Like the silver mesh encasing the golden doves, it cannot be welded into the original oraculum. The notion of a word meaning. So you have the word and you have the meaning of the word. Grid must be dismissed unequivocally. Interesting, right? So you have this word meaning. Apple is the word, and then the real apple, and the two are kind of they're welded together. So in Jewish thinking, well, not so clearly. Rather than welded together, the word meaning relationship is to be conceived of as a mesh revolving around the oraculum, which in itself is in motion. So you have the tapuhi zahav, which are kind of rotating, so to speak. They're in motion, and you have the words. So because of the orbital position of the mesh, different views of the oraculum can be obtained. Now, depending on where the mesh is relative to the apple, if it's moving, so you're going to see different parts of the apple through the different holes in the mesh. It is worth noting that the Hebrew ofnav, its circles or faces, davar, dabur, al ofnav, right? In the plural indicates that more than one orbit is possible. So it has more than one, right? There's not just a single, so the earth goes around the sun, orbits the sun, it has a very specific orbit. But here it has a couple of orbits, right? So this is kind of, I think, in Yehezkel, ha'ofan betoch ha'ofan. Same idea, I would say, for those who understand me. Can't talk about everything. Right. So it is worth noting that the Hebrew of not right is indicates that more than one over concerning the golden apples. Maimonides wrote. All right. So this is a quote from Harambam, likely an akdama to the to the Moreh Nebuchim. The wise man had said, "Golden apples in a silver mesh." This is a word spoken on its circles, faces. Here now the significance of what he said. Shalom HaMelech. Maskiot is a chiseled net containing places with very finely pierced perforations, as in jewelry work. Solomon was saying that a word spoken on its two orbits is like a golden apple in a silver mesh with very fine eyelets. Note how wonderfully this statement describes a meaningful metaphor. Interesting. He was saying that in an utterance with two faces, with an outer and inner one, the outer face must be valuable as silver. So even if I'm going to say a mashal, or a particular, I know, put the mashal on the side, I want to speak at two layers. So I want to say something which would be understood by the Hamon Am at one level, but somebody really intelligent will understand the deeper meaning of what I'm really saying. So the point is, the outer level shouldn't be disrespected. I shouldn't disrespect the people to whom I'm speaking by speaking nonsense and gibberish, but rather there should be an intelligent message there. It should be like silver. It's not like gold. The people who really understand that it's like gold. You understand what Rambam is saying? That's the Chidah. So Divrei Chachamim v'chidotam, the Chidot of the Chachamim, is the apple on the inside gold, silver on the outside. However, the inner face must be more precious than the outer one, so that the inner face in relation to the outer face would be as gold to silver. Moreover, the outer face must contain some indication pointing out to the observer the contents of the inner face. Now, I should have kind of like these little eyelets in the silver mesh, which indicate that there's something there on the inside to look at. Right? So there should be that pointing out to something deeper. In the same fashion, a golden apple covered by a silver mesh with very fine eyelets, when seen from a distance or carelessly, appears to be a silver apple. So you look at it carelessly and you say, okay, it's silver apple. But on closer examination, to one with sharp sight, its content will be discernible and even know that it is of gold. So that's an intelligent statement. If you kind of listen to it superficially, oh yeah, I understand it, and you do, there is that silver level. But if you listen carefully, then you see a certain, perhaps a dissonance, and then you see more closely and you realize there's something deep on the inside, and then hopefully you explore and you want to see what that deep thing is, and that would be the golden apple.